There once was a small village lying at the edge of a forest older than the kingdom itself. The villagers said its roots reached deeper than memory, and that in its heart, sunlight could lose its way. In this quiet borderland, beneath the sound of church bells and the scent of baking bread, lived a little girl whose laughter warmed even the coldest mornings. Her name was Red, though no one remembered her real one. They called her that because of the hood she always wore, a deep crimson velvet cloak that her grandmother had sewn for her on the winter she turned 7. The cloak had become more than clothing. It was love itself, a thread that bound child to family, innocence to memory, safety to the past. Red was gentle, kind, and endlessly curious. She sang to the birds and picked flowers for neighbors. Yet, like every child standing on the edge of growing up, she was eager to prove she was brave. One bright morning, her mother prepared a basket: warm bread, a jar of honey, and sweet berry jam. "Your grandmother is feeling unwell," she said. "Take this to her, my dear. Stay on the path, and don't talk to strangers. The forest can be beautiful and cruel." Red smiled, brushing the dust from her cloak. "I'll be careful, Mama, I promise." Her mother kissed her forehead, her eyes heavy with something the child couldn't yet name. Fear mixed with love, that strange sorrow all parents carry when they watch their children walk toward the world. And so Red set off down the dirt path, humming softly as sunlight flickered between the trees. The forest began as a friend. The air was cool, filled with birdsong and the murmur of streams. Butterflies danced above her hood, and she skipped lightly, feeling older with every step. But as the trees thickened, the light dimmed. The air turned still. Shadows stretched across her path, and the cheerful song in her throat faded into silence. That was when she heard the voice. "Good morning, little one," it purred. Smooth, warm, almost kind. Red turned, and from behind a great oak stepped a creature both majestic and menacing. A wolf, tall and lean, its fur silver gray, its eyes glinting like broken amber. "Oh," she gasped, clutching her basket. The wolf tilted its head. "Don't be afraid, I mean no harm. Tell me, where are you going on such a fine morning?" "To my grandmother's house," Red replied, polite as her mother taught her. "She's feeling sick. I'm bringing her bread and honey." The wolf smiled, or something like it. "How thoughtful. Is it far?" "Just at the end of this path," Red said proudly, "through the forest." "Ah," said the wolf, pretending to admire the trees. "But what a dull road this is. Wouldn't your grandmother love a few flowers? There's a meadow that way, full of daisies, much prettier than this straight old path." Red hesitated. The path was safe, her mother had said so. But the wolf's voice was gentle, persuasive, and the thought of surprising her grandmother with flowers felt good and kind. "Perhaps just a few," she said. The wolf bowed slightly. A lovely thought. And while the child stepped off the path, bending to gather blooms under the golden light, the wolf turned, silent as a shadow, and ran. He ran faster than the wind, through the undergrowth, over roots and rocks, until he reached the clearing where an old cottage stood. Smoke curled lazily from its chimney. The door creaked under his paw. "Who's there?" called a frail voice from inside. "Your granddaughter, Grandma," the wolf answered softly. "I've brought food and love from Mama." The latch clicked, the door opened. What happened next no one can say for certain, only that the forest held its breath, and that the old house fell silent again. Moments later, a figure in a nightcap sat by the bed, waiting. When Red arrived, the sun was already sinking. The forest no longer felt green and bright. It was a maze of shadows whispering her name. The door to her grandmother's house stood ajar. "Grandma?" she called. No answer. Only the ticking of the clock. She stepped inside. The curtains were drawn, the air thick with the scent of candles. On the bed lay her grandmother, pale beneath the quilt, her face half hidden in shadow. "Grandma, it's me," Red whispered. "Mama sent me with bread and honey." "Come closer, my dear," the figure said softly. "Let me see you." Red approached, her eyes narrowing. "Grandma, what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with." "And what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with." "And what big teeth you have." The figure sat up slowly. "All the better to eat you with." Then came the growl, low, guttural, ancient, the sound of the forest's hunger made flesh. Red screamed. The chair fell. The basket rolled across the floor. She ran for the door, but claws caught her cloak. "Help!" she cried, the sound slicing through the trees. Far away, a woodsman heard her. He was gathering timber near the river, a man who knew the voice of fear when it echoed through the woods. Axe in hand, he ran toward the sound, through briar and branch, until he burst through the cottage door. There he saw it, the wolf, its teeth glinting, its body coiled. "Step away from the girl," the woodsman roared. The struggle was fierce, fast, and full of chaos. Red, trembling, seized her jar of honey and flung it into the creature's face. The wolf howled, blinded by sweetness. The woodsman swung once, a clean, heavy blow. The beast fled through the broken door, limping into the dark from where it came. Silence fell. "Grandma!" Red gasped, rushing to the wardrobe. The old woman stumbled out, shaken but alive. "Oh, my dear child," she wept, holding her tight. "You're safe now." Red sobbed into her grandmother's arms. The woodsman leaned on his axe, breathing hard. Outside, the last light of day fell over the forest like a blessing. That evening, as Red sat by the fire, her mother's words echoed in her mind. "Stay on the path." She understood now. It wasn't just a warning against danger, but a lesson about wisdom. The path, she realized, is the line between innocence and understanding. And once you leave it, you never return the same. The forest was still there, vast and quiet, waiting. But Red no longer saw it as an enemy. It was a teacher, patient, mysterious, and eternal. She had entered it a child. She left it wiser. And though the villagers would one day tell the story of Little Red Riding Hood as a simple tale of wolves and bravery, those who truly listened would understand its secret. That every life has a forest, every heart has a path, and the shadows we meet there, the wolves we face, are not meant only to frighten us, but to teach us what light truly is.